Hi, I'm Lindsay, and welcome to the Power Pause, where I give weekly tips to help you improve your posture in everyday activities. So, this week's topic is standing. Not standing and doing anything in particular, just basic standing. And the title to this week's video refers to the secret of standing well with good posture. And the reason why I call it the secret is because there's a really key thing in terms of maintaining good posture while you're standing that people often totally overlook. So we'll be looking at a couple of cues that you can give yourself to start standing a little taller with less strain, less effort. But within that, I'm going to talk about something that is often a hidden solution to slouching. So I want to look at, first of all, what does it look like if somebody is slouching while standing? Now, there are a few ways that this might happen. This is a very common way. So I'm just going to show you first before I describe it. So something like this. Okay? So the most common way I see people try to fix this without any kind of guidance on how to correct their posture, if they just automatically try to fix this standing posture, is they go like this, or something like this. So just look at that. I'll do that again. So I'm in my slouching posture, and then I'm trying to fix it like this. So you might notice that something maybe isn't quite right, that I don't quite look like I'm in balance. Maybe you figured it out. So I'm going to go through 2 ways to improve your posture while you're standing, and with that we're going to figure out what is this little thing we're often missing. So the thing about posture is that when most people think of poor posture, slouching, improving their posture, they focus on the shoulders and what their shoulders are doing. So just think about, if you notice your posture is bad, what is it that you pick up on? It might not just be that, but often what people say to me is, they notice they're slouching. They notice that their shoulders are going forward. And the shoulders are often more of the victim of other things going on than the culprit. And I'm just going to sit for a second, because I'd like to show you something. If I'm slouching while I'm sitting, it's likely that my whole body is going to drop down like this. And the reason for that is that my head is going forward here with my neck, and it's pulling my whole upper spine, rib cage, shoulders forward and down with it. Like if I'm looking at the computer, I might end up like this. It's like everything is going sort of forward down toward the computer. But even if this is what happens when I'm sitting, let me just take this into standing. I probably don't look like this while I'm standing. Yes, there are some people who are standing like this. If their posture gets really, really bad, the weight of their head ends up sort of taking them forward into this kind of slump. But if you look around at, watch people outside on the street, shopping, whatever, just look at people. You probably won't see that many people like this. But if you ask somebody to describe or draw what they think poor posture is when standing, this is probably what they draw. But this is actually poor sitting posture. Everything going kind of forward and down. When we stand, I'll do this in slow-mo so you can see, this is what tends to happen. The head, the neck, the shoulders stay forward, and the rib cage tips back. So people end up sort of leaning back at the lower back. And that's the part they often miss. So they're trying to fix it by lifting the chest or pulling the shoulders back or some combination of both, and they end up leaning back more. What this does is it throws them off balance so that they can't get their whole body in alignment. And it's really hard to get your shoulders to relax if your body's not in alignment. So I was talking about the head as being the thing that kind of tends to set all this off, because where our eye line is, whether we're letting our head sort of, go full speed forward with the eyes that when they're looking at something, that has a big impact on our posture. So before I get to this leaning back thing, I'm just going to say, step number one, if you're slouching while you're standing, let's say you're waiting in line somewhere, you're doing this, bring your sight line up, right? And it might feel weird because you might be used to defaulting to looking forward by lowering your head, or you might even be looking down. So just see if you can not like jerk your head up, but just look up a bit, bring your eyes up. So you're just looking forward, but up, and just let your head kind of gently follow that. It's not like a big movement like this. I'm just bringing my eyes up, letting my head follow, and you'll see my head actually comes back slightly when I do that. And I'm already standing taller, but I'm still leaning back a little bit. And this is where it gets really weird, because if you're leaning back and your shoulders are still pulled forward, here, I'll pull my shoulders forward like this. I see this a lot. People's shoulders are really tight this way, but they're leaning back this way. If they stop leaning back, they probably go, oh no, I'm slouching more. But actually, the shoulders haven't changed. They've just come more upright. And that actually gives the shoulders something to be supported by, because you're more aligned vertically, and it can help them relax back. So if you let your rib cage, right, so this feels like leaning back in the back, or it might feel like lifting the rib cage in the front. If you let it all go this way, which might oddly feel like you're dropping your chest, because you kind of are, then it might be easier to eventually relax your shoulders. But the problem with that is that, first of all, people tend to not notice they're leaning back. And when they stop leaning back, they go, whoa, they feel like they're leaning way forward, or like they're slouching because their shoulders came forward with their rib cage. The shoulders can move separately from the rib cage. And once you get more vertically aligned, you'll give them more of a chance to unglue. That's a topic for another video. But the two things I want you to try are, if you find yourself slouching while you're standing, is bring your eyes up, and just a very little bit, you could even put your hand on your chest here, just let your chest come a little bit forward and relax. You could even make a little sigh or exhale, so it's not a kind of robotic or tense movement. Just go, ah. Make sure you let it go forward and that you don't go, ah, and go more backwards, because I know that will be tempting to do. So I'll do that again. Bring your eyes up, let your head follow. Let your chest just relax down a little bit. Try not to drop your head with it. Keep your eyes looking forward. So those are the two steps I want you to work on. This can be a little bit complicated. People often want some moment-to-moment guidance with this, I will say. So if you do end up taking some classes or lessons with me, this is something I could help you with more. And I'd like you to leave you with one more tip about standing, which is, people say, well, what do I do? Do I have to just stand sort of like this with my arms at my sides? No, you can stand in whatever position you want. Just don't do it in a sinky way. Like, you could shift your weight from one foot to the other, right? But what I want you to avoid is sinking down to do that. So see how I kind of drop my head and lean back to shift onto that side and there? Instead, I could just kind of slide my weight to the side. I could step forward, put a little weight on the front foot, put a little weight on the other foot. I don't have to sink. You can really use that eye line, keeping your eyes on the horizon, to help you not sink, but it's totally fine to shift your weight. and you don't have to stand with your feet in one position, feel like you can't move. All right, well, that is all for today. I'll be back next week with a new topic. In the meanwhile, if you like these videos, like this channel, and if you'd like some more information, you can check out my website and the details, and there is a free 30-minute video class in there that you can check out as well. All right, take care. See you next week.